All right, Governor, we're following up on a little bit of information that soon to be announcing some action and more specifically a veto on the regulated cannabis marketplace bill. I had a specific question for that. There's been a lot of pushback on this notion by some that, this bill would not eliminate the black market, the illegal marketplace, right? But I want to counter that because I wanted to ask you, though, even though we can't entirely eliminate the illegal marketplace, shouldn't there be some level of improved oversight regulation added to this kind of effort? And what is your
So
decision for this veto? I guess kind of pairing
yeah,
off with that.
yeah. So thank you. So first of all, I will be vetoing the bill today that establishes a commercial retail market for cannabis. Cannabis is bad for Virginia, and we see across other states that have had retail markets for a while a massive increase in adolescent usage, a massive increase in child poisonings, and what that results from is accessibility that is far greater than it would be otherwise. You couple this with the reality that cannabis today is so strong and that it is causing severe mental illness, particularly in adolescent users. Cannabis use disorder is so prominent. And then finally, the incidence of psychosis are going through the roof. This is terrible for children and adolescents. Second of all, violent crime goes up substantially. And the reason why violent crime goes up substantially is because the black market does not go away. And you look at California today, only 10% of the cannabis market is represented by the regulated retail market. And the gang activity escalates because they're fighting over a slightly smaller territory. And we're seeing huge activity from Mexican gangs and Chinese gangs and Russian gangs in many of these jurisdictions. And that's on top of the substantial increase, over 70% increase in marijuana-related traffic accidents and fatalities. And so the damage that is done to potentially to Virginia's health and public safety is enormous. I also just want to highlight that the idea that the taxes will pay for everything is unfounded. And in fact, what Colorado has seen through a most recent study is that for every dollar they bring in tax revenue through the system, $4.50 is being spent. And so the challenges created by this market are extensive. And then finally, the safety of the product issue is one that we should expect to be real, but unfortunately, we're not seeing that. And just recently in New York, 40% of the regulated retail market's product was determined to fail its testing for all kinds of things, from E. coli contamination all the way through. And so on every front, this idea that this has some determinant that makes it acceptable falls down. And across the board, I think we can recognize that cannabis is bad for Virginia, and that's why I'm vetoing the bill.
Follow up to that. Is there a way that the bill could have been written that you may not have vetoed it or you may have sent it back with amendments? Because we did see a little bit of, there are Republicans that said they're not voting yes for this bill, but they said that they do support the general idea of making a safer, a more safe Virginia, but they didn't vote yes for this bill specifically. So was this always going to get the veto, or is there a way that maybe this could have been written differently that it could have gotten at least an amendment or an approval from you?
Well, I've been very clear from the beginning of session that I don't have any interest in creating a retail market for cannabis for all the reasons we've been through. It is really harmful to children and adolescents, and violent crime goes up, not down, and product safety concerns are not addressed. The black market doesn't go away, and it drives up expenses through the systems that don't cover the tax revenue. The reality, of course, is what we should be working on creating jobs. We should be bringing companies to Virginia that will employ people and create really good opportunity. We should be investing in education. We should be working together to provide better support for law enforcement. We should be working in our mental health system together to overhaul it and make it even better. These are productive areas where Virginia can thrive. And of course, what we've seen in other states, that have in fact had this kind of market for a while is it hasn't met any of their objectives. Crazy enough, Oregon is in fact voting to repeal its legalization of a broad range of drugs. So that experiment failed, and I don't believe Virginia needs to experiment with this at all in order to realize that cannabis is bad for Virginia.
Quick other question since you hopped on a little bit early. We're following the big updates from yesterday that the arena deal fell through. So I just wanted to quickly ask, I mean, did when did you learn from Ted directly that this was going to happen? Was it before, I presume, the official release from Alexandria? And do you have any just final thoughts? There's a lot of lawmakers that are tweeting on social media right now. They're happy seeing this arena deal officially, done for the moment. What do you say in response to those particular lawmakers who are celebrating the arena not being officially a thing anymore?
This is a massive, massive loss for Virginia that should have gone the complete opposite direction. 30,000 jobs, $12 billion of economic activity, an amazing opportunity to have an investment that would spread economic input across the Commonwealth. I mean, to all corners. And the fact that our Senate didn't take up this opportunity and even give it a thorough review is really, really disappointing. Of course, the reality is that businesses get to choose where they're going to go. And the Ted Leonsis and the Monumental Sports and Entertainment Group wanted to come to Virginia. They accepted a deal with no upfront money, no new taxes, where massive economic gains would be felt across the Commonwealth. And they wanted to come. And what we owed them in that was a constructive effort to make it happen. Our House of Delegates did work. The Speaker of the House, in fact, whipped the votes and passed 2 bills in order to press forward. And the Senate didn't do the work at all. They didn't even take up the bills. And so Ted Leonsis negotiating a new deal with the Washington, D.C. leadership is not only not surprising, but it's expected. I mean, they paid him $515 million to come back, to stay in D.C. And the reality is he wanted to come to Virginia, and we had a no upfront cash, no new taxes, and create $12 billion and 30,000 jobs deal, which we couldn't even see our Senate take up and give a thorough review, which it so deserved. Virginians deserve better. And I look forward to continuing to work with our General Assembly to deliver great opportunities for Virginia, because we are such a fabulous state, and this is one that should have been done.